Hi everybody. Hello, welcome to Raising Siposetu. Thank you so much, you guys, for 300 subscribers. Welcome to our new subscribers. This channel is about sharing the experience of being a mom and being a mom of a special needs child or a child with special needs. And the channel is more about my experience as a mom or as a parent than it is actually about Sipose to herself. But we do have videos where we show her, but I try not to do that too much, okay? So some of the videos you're just going to see me talking about my experiences. So in the series that I have been doing of things you must never say to a special needs mom, I have been getting some questions from viewers as well. So this one is going to be me answering or discussing something that one of the viewers talked about in the comment section. And she talked about an experience she had where she was at a supermarket and tried to help somebody that was on a wheelchair and that looked like they were struggling with the trolley. And when she tried to help, or when she offered to help, it wasn't received. And it wasn't a nice experience for her because she didn't feel like she had done anything wrong, you guys. This is one thing that I want to say. I am not a wheelchair user myself. I am a mom of a child that uses a wheelchair. And even in her using a wheelchair, she is not independent in using a wheelchair. She requires 100% assistance. So, my experience as a parent of a wheelchair user, it would be different from the experience of a wheelchair user. But talking from that point of view, I would say that if you see somebody that uses a wheelchair at a supermarket, okay, it's like anybody else, you guys. All of us go to the supermarket. Sometimes we struggle to push the trolleys around. Sometimes we're carrying too much. And sometimes, those wheels of the trolley don't move as fast as we want it to move. It's a normal adult experience. It's a normal human experience to go to the supermarket and you're carrying too much and you're going to the queue. Sometimes you're slower than you think. Sometimes you want to move faster, but you can't. Sometimes people in the queue want you to move faster, but you can't. But nobody ever comes to you and offers you help. Nobody ever comes to you and offers to push your trolley for you. Nobody ever asks you to shem ngena la phambili kulona ngoba itrolley yakho igcwele kakhulu ngena la phambili queue. Nothing happens. In fact, if your queue, your trolley is too full, people want you to go to the back. People will ask you ukuthi ngicela ungingenise because your trolley is too full. I wanna go first. I just have two things, or I just have one thing to pay. You know, you are just because your trolley is too full and you are struggling to push it, people don't offer you to go in front of the queue. So why do you want to do that for a person just because they are on a wheelchair and have a disability? They are just having a normal life experience just like everybody else. It's just that the way that they get around is different from you. So unless they ask you for help, there's actually no need for you to offer to help them, you know? The instances where they need help is the same instances where you need help. Let's say I'm at the supermarket and I slip and fall. What will happen? There's probably going to be someone that is going to come offer me a hand to pull me up. Like in instances like that, maybe somebody has fallen, they're struggling to get up, you go and offer. But when they are just getting up, the only difference between you and the person on a wheelchair is that they are getting around using a wheelchair, you are getting around just using your feet, you are walking. So the very fact yokuthi you are offering them help, obviously it's because they're on a wheelchair, and nobody's gonna like that. Nobody's gonna like that because nobody wants to be treated differently just because they're different. Their way of getting around is different. And I do understand that people don't understand that because it usually doesn't come from a bad place. It doesn't come from a bad way. It comes from a place, a lot of the times, it comes from a place where a person wants to help. But sometimes it feels like just because I don't move as fast as you, because I'm on a wheelchair, I'm pushing a trolley, I'm not moving as fast as you just want to help me so that I can get out of the way. It can feel like that. So my thing would be just let people be. If somebody needs help, they will probably shout. If they don't, just get on with your life. If you in a queue, they're behind you, just stand there in the queue like you would normally do with like everybody else, you know, because why would you do if you whatever you will not do for a person that is not on a wheelchair, don't do it for a person that is on a wheelchair. That is my understanding, you guys. If I get a chance, because there is somebody that I know that uses a wheelchair, if I get a chance to talk to them and say how would they answer this question, and they give me an answer, I will share it with you, because I do feel like my perspective is different from them because I don't use the wheelchair myself. Now, let me speak from the experience of a mom now, helping my child with a wheelchair. There are times when, obviously, when we go places, I'm hardly ever alone with Siposetu. Her father is almost always there, aunt is almost always there. But should it happen that I am alone and for some reason I'm struggling somewhere, I also don't feel okay with somebody just coming and maybe some guy comes and just push the wheelchair for me without even asking me, do you need help, or me asking for help. It's almost similar to that. Even if I'm struggling, but it doesn't feel right for you to just come and be like, let's no, I don't want that. I find Uguti for a lot of black people, a lot of the times we struggle to know what to say, and a lot of the times people will just end up staring at you, and it's almost like they don't know whether to say something or not say something or whatever, and then that leads to them just staring at you, which is the worst thing because now you are trying to get around with this wheelchair with your baby. Sometimes you have a back, and then there are all these eyes on you. I know that it's not a usual, it's not a common thing to see a child on a wheelchair. So a lot of the times when you see a child on a wheelchair, you give it a second look, because a lot of the times you're wondering, I wonder what's happening with this child, how come she can't walk and all of that, and then you end up staring. But my thing would be try not to stare, because it becomes a lot for a parent, because now when I look around, everybody is looking at me and I'm still trying to get around with this wheelchair. It just becomes too much with people staring at you. I find that that happens a lot with black people, where people just stare at you. But I find also with white people, not even to be racist, guys, but I've noticed with white people, they would ask you, especially men, when it comes to white men, they will come and ask you, like, if they feel like you're struggling, they will come and ask, ma'am, do you need help? And then you will say, no, I'm okay. Are you sure? Okay, okay. If they say, do you need help? And you say yes, and then they will help you, and then they will say, are you okay? Okay, okay. And then they go on with their lives. That's how it is. I find that with Indians, you guys, they will come and ask you questions like, "What happened to your child?" Oh, shame. you know, I especially like Indian moms, you know, they do that a lot. Like they will not even offer you help, but they will just want to know everything and anything about this child, and a shame doesn't stop from them. So I try not to take all of these things personally, but they are the things that sometimes make it difficult to eat. Like you think about all of that when you want to go out with your child. You think about you have to deal with all of that. You have to deal with the stairs. You have to deal with certain places where it's difficult to get around. So you would rather be with people that can help you get around. If you're going to be alone, all of that is heavy. But for me, I don't get offended when somebody asks me, "Do you need help?" I find that I don't get offended. I would say, no, it's okay. I'm gonna be okay. If I feel like I need help, I will let them push her for maybe uh, that step or whatever it is that I'm struggling with, and then I'll say thank you or whatever. But I also don't like it when somebody just comes and push her and don't even ask Uguti, do I need help or not now? You guys, I do think Uguti, I would say for black people mostly, I didn't grow up knowing Uguti how to act or how to be around people with disabilities. So we learn as we go. I think just as much as I can't take personally how people are around me and my child when they see her on a wheelchair, because it's just that curiosity, they're just curious as to what happened, and they end up staring, even though it's hard to deal with. But I can't take it personal because I understand why. The same way now, if you offer me help and I reject it, don't take it personally. I'm just trying to get through the day, and I'm trying to do what's best for me in the moment. And in the moment, if I feel like I don't really need your help, I have to be able to say, no, 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 I'm okay. So even you, as a person that is offering help, do not take it personally. Don't even take it personally when they are upset about it, because it might not even be about you. They're dealing with a lot inside. So you offering them help is like you are reminding them that they're different, and that is something that is hard to deal with. So they're dealing with a lot. So don't take it personal that a person rejects your help. They just don't need it in that moment. And for you, it's just a moment to learn that not all the time do people with wheelchair require help. If you see them getting around, if you see a person at the mall, for an example, they're coming from home where you don't even know how far it is. The fact that they can get to the mall tells you they can get around. So just let them be. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys will come with the comments and also some questions in the comment section. And if you don't be scared to ask a question. If I feel uncomfortable with answering the question, I won't answer it. If I feel like I don't have information on what to answering, I'll try and find the answer. If I can't, I'll say I can't. So I don't think that there's any question that I won't take in the comment section, as long as everything is done respectfully. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.